Hey everyone, so in this tutorial we're going to look through a process or a flow that I created to help with a really manual process that a business had. And the tool that we used was Power Automate Desktop, not to be confused with Power Automate Cloud. I have went through a couple of tutorials where I use Power Automate Cloud to help businesses with manual processes. But in this demo, I wanted to show how you can use Power Automate Desktop to help with maybe a little bit more complex processes. The big difference between Power Automate Desktop and Power Automate Cloud, they are the same tool. It is Power Automate at the end of the day. But the main difference is whenever you want to try and automate processes when you're using your ERP system or your browser applications, that's where you would use Power Automate Desktop. And in this example, that's exactly what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show what we want to do, and then I'm going to show the actual flow in action and how we achieve the automation. So what this client wanted was they essentially wanted to populate their Chrome application with data coming from a Microsoft form. So this is the data set. It's very simple. There's only 2 rows of data, but what we're going to see is we're going to see the flow is going to come in here, and it's going to take this data and it's going to fill it into a Microsoft form. For the tutorial, for confidential reasons, I didn't want to show the actual Chrome application that the client used, so I just said I just populate a form. But the logic is exactly the same. You're still getting data from the source and then populating data within a Chrome application. You're populating the data in that Chrome application. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go look at the Microsoft form, and we're going to see that there is basically 0 responses for that. And whenever we run this flow, there'll be 2 responses, and we'll actually see it filling out the form in real time without me touching my laptop. So this is the form. I've went through this form before. It's a form that I've set up for the Kuma exhibition next month. But I just wanted to show here that essentially now we're showing 0 responses. So if I jump over to Power Automate Desktop, and if I go into the flow itself, it looks a little bit similar to Power Automate Cloud, but there is some differences. And again, it's more around where you would use this would be whenever you're trying to automate processes, again, where you're inputting or where you're using ERP systems or applications. So I'll just quickly run through the steps. I'm not going to go into the steps in detail. That's probably for another video, but you can see here that you set processes / tasks. So the first one is I want to launch Excel, then I want to read the data within that Excel, then I want to close it, then I want to open up a Chrome tab, and then I want to start populating that Chrome tab with the data that's in the Excel. There's a little bit more to it than that, but again, that's probably for another video. Maybe a webinar would be perfect for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click Run, and you're basically going to see the Microsoft form get filled out. Again, I'm not touching my laptop now, so you can see here that it's running for 6 seconds. You're going to see the Excel just opened up now. It's going to read that data. The Microsoft form is just opened, and you're going to start seeing the data get input. So my name is being entered in there now. So while this fills itself out, where would this be helpful? So again, if you are inputting data into your systems or into your applications manually from a source or from an Excel spreadsheet, or whether it be a piece of paper that you get from inputs from maybe clients or for customers, this is where you can really automate those kind of processes. So you can see here it's filled out the first one, and I've actually got an email. I've set up a separate flow that whenever someone completes this form, I will then send them an email and thank them for completing it. I went through that on a separate video. I'll send that link. I'll attach the link in the description below for that, how I set that one up. But what we're going to see now in the next 10-20 seconds is The second form will be filled out, and that will be those 2 rows of data that were in the Excel spreadsheet. And where this is extremely useful and beneficial is if you can imagine if you have hundreds of rows of data that you need to transfer from wherever the source is into a system or into an application, you can easily set up a flow like this in a matter of minutes and totally automate that. So whenever we jump back over to Microsoft Forms, you'll see now that I have 2 responses, and you can see it took 35 seconds to complete, and the 2 responses are dropped in here now live in real time. So an extremely efficient tool. I'll just showcase again here how it looks in terms of the flow. So again, most of it is just setting up the tool to be able to populate the application or the form itself with the data. And yeah, that's really it. That's not really a complicated one, but there is a lot you can do with Power Automate Desktop that's just not possible with Power Automate Cloud. So I just wanted to showcase a pretty cool example of how we help the client with Power Automate Desktop.